cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in too. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in too. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you're from, life is
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the 52 Scott Podcast for another episode of Black Friday. I'm your host, K Money, and in the building with me, my co-host, Freddie G, Slash, and Comedian 96. Collectively, we are the Mind of Men. You can find us on Twitter at 52 Scott Podcast, Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast. And if you're on YouTube, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Welcome back to another Black Friday episode. Today, I thought we'd talk about selling out. When we start working and establish ourselves and find whatever career we choose, we're working to strive for better things, whether it be moving into a better place, driving a better car, or buying better clothes, a lot of material things, but you want the finer things in life. And sometimes in obtaining those things, you have folks that question whether or not you're selling out because they're feeling or thinking that maybe you think that you're better than they are because of your successes. Mm-hmm. And I'm just wondering, because you've worked hard, and not necessarily worked hard, because sometimes some people are financially blessed through inheritance or other means, right? But it puts them in a much better situation than what they were in previously, right? Yeah. Which causes you to move a different way, right? And doesn't necessarily make you a sellout, though, if you're blessed in that situation or because you're moving differently. I do feel. If you're acting a certain type of way, like moving around with your nose up because you have been blessed, yes, I would definitely classify you as a sellout. However, for those that have worked hard, like we all came from the ghetto, right. and I don't have a problem living in the ghetto, right. But
yeah, exactly.
It's a lot of things that goes with staying in the ghetto.
Right? It's a limit. It's an expiration. It's what they would say, wore out your welcome after you get to a certain level in life, I think. Good example, perfect example. I have a friend of mine right now. He's not necessarily in a bad neighborhood, but, typically men usually meet their financial peaks between the ages of 45 and 55, right? So he's been living, and I feel bad for him because it's not an apartment, it's a house. Right. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult for him. So he's been living in that house for years, but now he's at a point in his life where his financial is going up and up and up and up. He's increasing his wealth. Okay. So he's literally on a different level, and he should move, but how do you just pick up and move from an apartment is easier, but a house?
But is he moving differently because of his financial gain?
No, he's not moving differently, but things are happening around his place. Matter of fact, he got his truck stolen right at his house. Okay. You get what I'm saying?
No.
What you mean? You got your truck stolen right out your
apartment. Okay, because of where he's staying.
Yes.
I got you. Okay.
So, you get what I'm saying? It's like, okay, enough is enough. You stole my truck, other little various things have happened, to whereas if you were in the River Oaks area, and River Oaks is, if you haven't been to Houston, it's more of a upscale part of Houston.
Yeah, now violence does happen everywhere, but I understand you saying it's more prominent to happen in the ghetto.
Exactly. Not saying he would have to move to River Oaks, but somewhere where you don't have to walk outside and worry about somebody coming in and taking something more secure, and he can afford it.
Right.
You know, he can afford it.
Right.
But again, some people will be complacent and they're used to where they're staying and they won't move, and they be like, I'm hood, I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
But you gotta sometimes you gotta get out of there.
It's about your mentality and what you want to do, especially if you have kids. You want to raise your children in a nicer area. I don't think that's selling out because you got a little money that you can. It's about the quality of lifestyle you want to have.
Say the finer things.
How do you want to live? If you've been through this ghetto situation, which most of us have all our life since kids,
Right.
Why would we want to still be there at the end of our life?
Yeah.
We should have made it through, so that's not selling out. I don't think it's selling out. Personally, I don't think it's selling out.
Again, I'm gonna go back to how you carry yourself can make one think that you are selling out. Determining, how one moves can give one the impression of a sellout. I think a sellout does have certain traits. I mean, Comedian 96. How would you feel? How would you classify one as being a sellout if they came into some money? Not to put you on the spot.
I actually like this question because it's going to go both ways. I got a couple of ways I want to go with this. You see how quick I say both ways. I want to go both ways. I didn't want to have back door and say no homo because apparently you can just say no homo and everything's delineated these days. But anyway, I was listening to. I want to make 2 points. I was listening to Bootsy one time. And he says, man, everybody get killed in their own city every time. When they come up, they begin rappers. You think of all the rappers that died, King Von and who else? A lot of rappers just died in their own city. Extension, that guy. So many people. And they all got killed in their own city. And even Bootsy, he doesn't live in Louisiana. He lives in Baton Rouge. He lives in Atlanta. So a lot of people move out of the hood for that particular reason. And the second point I'm trying to make is I believe the reason, think about it. We all from the hood. We all from the Trey. That's
Right.
3rd Ward, Houston, Texas. 3rd Ward is part of Houston. In the hood. It's the hood. It's where U of H, Texas Southern, and everything is at.
Right.
But we all grew up in the hood. Let's not say now because it's diversified. But before it's hard diversifying. If 3rd Ward was the way it was when we were growing up and the money that we're making now, would you move to 3rd Ward? And I'm going to start with myself. No, I would not. If I did, I'll take that back. If I did, it would be the outer skirts like near McGowan area.
So you saying with them building now over there like they doing? If
No,
like that.
take that away.
Take that away.
Take that away because I'd move there now.
If that wasn't there.
Yep, that wasn't there, and it was like it was when we grew up. Just say,
Would I move there now?
Now, if life is like it was when we were younger.
No.
With the money we're making now.
No,
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would in the part that I grew up in, honestly speaking, bro. I grew
With
up
your
off
truck,
out.
you would.
But again,
Not-
if I
not-
got violated too many times, then that would definitely motivate me to want to get the hell up out of there.
Yeah, because I don't want you to think about it as the diversified 3rd Ward, what it is now.
I'm
I want you to think about what it was when we were growing up, and it was like that.
I grew up over there off of Alameda, where the turkey leg hut in that area. So
Right.
it wasn't, it was.
You was you was kind of because you was kind of closer to down there. What about you, Freddie G?
I actually, I don't think that money plays the major part in sellout. Right. I think
Sprinkles a little something on it though, but
I think that money, the goal is to make some money so I can go and afford a nice car, a nice home, a bigger home, and all of those, the bigger home and all that stuff would be out in a more upscale area. And just because you moved in a suburban neighborhood, for the most part, I don't think that the people will call you a sellout. They'll look at you as somebody that's doing well for yourself. Now, here's where it becomes a sellout. You can be broke and be a sellout. When you throw your race under the bus to appease another race, man, black and white. You know how it goes.
You know how it goes.
If you go and you at your job and you get the buck dancing for the white boy or the white man or whatever, and you going in there snitching on boss, he not working, and you going in there and you telling on your brother over here because you feel a certain kind of way. Now that's a sellout. Let me show you something else. Now, of course, these are some harsh issues that they were facing, but slavery. You do know that the captors, the Caucasians, actually had African folk helping to trap these other Africans. Now, of course, they was on the some stress or whatever you want to call it. Stress is a bad word, not the right word I'm looking for. But hey, you go help catch some of these people, and we'll let you go. We'll leave you, but you help us get some of them. Kept some of your native people or whatever. Those people sold their African people out.
Yeah,
they sold them out.
Well, Africans been selling Africans out for a long time.
Yeah, so you can be broke and actually be a sellout.
But what we were trying. So what was implied is if I start making money and then I move out, would I be a sellout? So
I answered that.
No, but listen, look at this. Look at what I'm trying to say. Imagine you say you'll stay in the hood. So did you answer yes?
I didn't say I'll stay in the hood.
You'll stay. You'll move.
I answered. I said that ultimately,
I know, but the question
you want to move to get better, to have better.
Right.
I don't think that people.
But
will
the
say
question
you're a
was,
sellout.
if you with the money you're making now, that's the question. Would you stay in the hood? Not the diversified third ward, but the old third ward.
No.
With the money you're making, would you stay there now?
No, I don't even live there now. I live in the suburbs.
I know, exactly. So the point I'm trying to make is if we lived in third ward or a hood area where we grew up, no matter where your hood is from, wherever you are over the world,
right,
and you pull up in your driveway in a Lexus, a Benz, then you got on the side a Mustang Cobra, and then most of the people in the hood walking, everybody else got cars that's in the driveway that just been sitting there with the hood up, with that mechanic JoJo out there up under. Man, I think it's the alternator. I'm not quite sure, but I think it is. I'm gonna run on down the. But you got all this ball. Don't you think jealousy will eventually
it factors in.
Uprise? Like,
it factors in.
Yeah, what are you doing that we can't do? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
of course it's there.
That's my main concern. It's not that you're selling out, but it's like, man, I'm trying to protect my possessions at this point.
Right.
I think that, like, I don't know if jealousy will play a part if you got nice stuff in the hood. You're gonna have haters or people who are envious of you, of people anywhere, right?
Yeah,
right.
Regardless,
You got to look at the type of crimes, and I don't have no statistics up, just my own opinion. But when you look at the type of crimes that happens in the hood, it really be some hood shit.
Yeah, that's true.
It really be.
That's true.
Oh, this dude arguing with this dude and he stabbed him.
Yeah.
You know, or
dice game.
Yeah, it's some hood shit. When people go in to commit crimes, they actually go to the rich areas to commit those crimes because they know that's where the money's at.
You are exactly right. Because when
So you saying
when
if we drive, we come back to the hood in our Lexus or whatever nice fancy car that we have. You don't think that's that draws attention?
I think,
and
I don't just limit it to the hood. I get
what you're saying.
Yeah, a nice car is going to draw attention anywhere. You could be riding anywhere. And if somebody's got jacking on their mind,
Yeah,
Facts.
they gonna follow you.
Right.
they coming.
You go to the Galleria ain't in the hood, but all kinds of.
Right.
The Galleria is an upscale mall here in Houston.
It's a lot of robberies
But it's a
happening
lot
over
of
there.
robbers around that
Facts.
Galleria
Yeah,
area.
sure is.
So it's gonna attract attention, period. I don't just limit it to the hood to where, okay, if I move the hood and I got some nice stuff.
Right.
Nah, I mean, for the most part, I think that when it comes to the hood and you coming back to visit or whatever with nice stuff, I genuinely think that people look at you and be like, man, so and so he balling, or so and so he doing good, or so. It's more like that, and there may be some haters, meaning that not haters to want to do you harm, but haters that are envious.
Yeah.
And that they can't do nothing. So
'Cause
I
you
don't think
moved
it's
on.
more so of they look at us that way. I think the sellout comes from when you trying to appease another race.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
you should definitely want to do better. You
Yeah.
know, if
Yeah, if you're doing that is sellout. I mean, yeah, I agree. That's sellout.
Yeah, that is. I mean, again though, like I said, as much as I would love to stay in the hood, because that's where I'm from, that's where I was
Yeah.
raised. When you making, you're doing better. And, something, I mean, if you're in the hood, there's a lot of things you got to deal with. You got to deal with regular people that's breaking in. Then you got to deal with crackheads that's breaking in. Then you got to deal, you know what I mean? It's just the scale of things that happens in the hood versus in the suburbs are, don't get me wrong, you go to other areas to do the jackings, which in the suburb areas.
Yeah.
But at least you look inconspicuous. But if you're in the hood, everybody blend in, everybody look hood.
True.
So you get jacked, everybody look like a suspect.
Yeah.
I mean, but you stand out in the hood if you know you're financially blessed. You go dress
Right.
better than those that are in the hood.
Correct.
So
That's
again,
true.
you go draw that type of attention to where one may think you're easy prey.
Yeah.
That's
And that's the thing, and that's another thing you got to worry about. Just say you doing good and you don't, they gonna try. Somebody's gonna try you in the hood. They gonna try you. Don't matter how nice you are, they are going to try you. You're gonna get tried in the hood.
So when you say you're gonna stand out in the hood, if you dress nice and you're gonna stand out in the hood, I actually think a lot of people in the hood are poor, but they always have expensive stuff on.
Yeah.
They're gonna have
Yeah.
some $200
Yeah.
shoes on.
Shoes, yeah.
They're gonna have some jewelry on.
Facts.
They're gonna-
Exactly.
So those people got the same clothes as the person that actually got money. So they got the same clothes. So the person with the money actually fitting in. Now, when you say there's gonna always be somebody to try you, right?
Right.
There's gonna be always somebody to try you. If you live in the hood, you know that the area is, for lack of a better word, slum, right?
Yeah.
And so you're gonna always be on high alert when you go to an area that actually looks like it's run down.
Right.
That can be anywhere in the United States. You're gonna automatically be on high alert. So if you're
Right.
living in that area, you're gonna stay on high alert. Versus you're living in the suburbs, you're more apt to let your guards down because you feel safer.
Safer.
And that's why individuals would prefer to go to the suburbs to commit crimes.
makes sense.
I prefer to live in the hood. I would prefer, but I mean, I guess success equals get your ass out. I don't know. I wish it hadn't.
No,
it didn't have to
here's
be
the
that
thing.
way.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Why do you work hard? Rhetorical. That's rhetorical. Why do you work hard? Why do you want the job that pays 6 figures? Why do you want to make sure that you got the latest shoes on? Why do you do all of that stuff? You do all of that stuff because you don't want to be in the conditions that you're currently in.
Correct.
Why do you want to get rid of your bucket to go get this nice car? Because you don't want to be in the conditions that you are currently
You
in.
wanna be
So when you
comfortable.
do obtain the money to go and purchase and do these things, of course you're gonna move somewhere because you've earned that right to do that. But your mentality, your character and your mentality shouldn't change as far as, when I say your mentality shouldn't change, as far as looking down on people who don't have.
Exactly. You should be trying to help.
It shouldn't. Now, for those people who mentality change and they look down on people who don't have, those people are snooty. Now, snootiness and being a sellout can be a fine line, because now once you're snooty, then you associate yourself possibly with other races. And when you associate yourself possibly with other races, and then you may talk down on your race.
On top of it.
And that makes you a sellout.
Exactly.
Versus if you don't, if you looking at people and you ain't got nothing, you broke, you just now you're just snooty. You're not really a sellout. You're just old snooty ass dude or female.
Good example. So I knew a girl once told me, I don't talk to people unless they have a bachelor's degree or better. What is that? Snooty or sellout?
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you.
What's that?
I don't think it's a sellout, and I don't think it's a snooty. She has a preference, and if she's saying that, she better have a bachelor's degree or better.
Right.
She better have a bachelor's degree or better
in order for that to even be legal.
Because
no. I'm talking about talk as in dating. I mean, talk like is hello, good morning, how are you doing? Not dating talk, but talk like. That's just regular. Hey, I ain't.
That's even worse.
Like that.
So if you're doing that, if you're saying she don't, so you're not saying dating. You're saying just even having a conversation.
Just saying, hey, good morning. Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
So
that's it. Nothing else.
If she's doing that, there's some underlying things. So on the surface, if she's doing that, I would say she's snooty.
Yeah. On
the surface, but there's something underneath the surface that the only way you'll find out is if she holds a conversation with you. Exactly. But on the surface, oh no, she's just snooty. I don't talk to her. She's snooty.
There you go. That's what I thought.
But I don't know if she'll sell out or not. We gotta go underneath the surface.
Yeah, but I was like, that's shallow. So you want to be snooty? I'll be shallow. Yeah, go ahead. You don't have to talk to me, Miss Ma'am. I can't even remember her name. That was some years ago.
Freddie G, you mentioned earlier that you could be broke and still be a sellout.
Yes.
So can the opposite occur? Can you have already be financially stable and still sell out?
Yes, because selling out, I don't necessarily have to associate that with money.
Okay.
You are throwing your race under the bus to appease another race. Let's take race off the table. Let's say gender. We would call that simping, right? If a male is in a room full of females and he is doing everything to make them feel like he's thinking a certain way, when really truthfully you're just doing that to get them to, you opening doors. I'm not saying that there's something wrong with opening doors, but you're doing all of this to appease them, right?
Yeah.
That's what we call simping. And simping, that means that you're going against your actual nature of who you are. Yeah. You're just doing that for them. Right. For the female. So what you've done, you've sold out. You've sold out to them. And it doesn't. We're not putting race to it. We're just putting gender. Yeah. You sold out to them because now you've switched from who you are. You've switched from who you are, and you talking bad about the male species over here, saying, okay,
right?
Well, yeah, all men are dogs. Well, not all men are dogs. Bad example. Well, let's say females having a group discussion, right? And they're saying, and somebody says, yeah, these men be cheating all the time. All of them cheat. Now, you know deep down inside, you don't feel like all men cheat. Yeah. And so what happens is, because you want to simp and get all the women on your side, all the men be cheating. I'm going to be honest, I cheat too. And you get to telling them, you get to saying all that stuff. Yeah. When deep down inside, you should have stood up and say, you know what? Yeah. I do agree that men do cheat. But you can't put that label on all men, because there are some good men out there, and men do not cheat. This is not a For Women Wednesday show, right? But just an example.
Just an example, right?
And so what you've done is you simped. which is a form of selling out to that gender. You sold the male gender out
Right.
to for the female gender.
Yeah.
But back to group of people and race and stuff. So I think that if you're selling out your race,
Well, I understand. You said you wouldn't put finances in it in regards to selling out, but it's hard to admit that, you know, when your pocket is different, you move different. Right. You know, but you doesn't necessarily mean that everybody has to sell out when they have a financial gain. Before we get up out of here, let me talk about black fact that you can't take back. The first lawyer, John Mercer Langston, was the first black man to become a lawyer when he passed the bar in Ohio in 1854. When he was elected to the post of town clerk in Brownham, Ohio, in 1855, Langston became one of the first African Americans ever elected to public office in America. John Mercer Langston was also the great uncle of Langston Hughes, which is probably one of the most famous Hughes that you guys probably were thinking about when I mentioned his first name, who is a famed poet of the Harlem Renaissance. Thank y'all for joining another Black Friday. Y'all have a good weekend and peace out. This concludes another Hot Black Friday episode, and be sure you tune in next week for Music Mondays. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at 52 Scott Podcast, Instagram and Facebook, The 52 Scott Podcast, and for all you YouTubers, don't forget to like and subscribe.